This morning we're going to have us a little conversation with the Heritage Foundation. And Congressman Chip Roy out of Texas, Matt Gaetz, I think is from Georgia or Florida. I'm not sure where Matt Gaetz is from. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elise Stefanik, and everybody else that's taking a critical look at how 15,000 senior citizens in New York State were recklessly murdered. That's criminally negligent homicide, by the way, Congressman Roy, Elise Stefanik. The placing of positive COVID patients in senior citizens' homes, where these seniors are just trying to live out their final days, some relative peace, and enjoy their family members before they go to the great beyond. Now to the Heritage Foundation. One thing that's profound about this entire matter is how the state of New York, their health department and so on and so forth with Cuomo and his pals, Basil Sagos, seem to be hiding and covering up lots of information regarding these senior citizens that were murdered. Well, you see, New York State has a history of doing rotten, terrible things like dumping infectious human excrement and urine all over the state and then flushing it with their dam systems on their major rivers, like the Moses Saunders Dam on the St. Lawrence, for instance, and how they flush out all the human excrement from the Great Lakes down the St. Lawrence Seaway to the Gulf of St. Lawrence. And then the hospital ships. Everybody remembers the hospital ships that were dispatched to New York because Manhattan and the surrounding Hudson River and the Harlem River and the East River and Long Island Sound, they got hundreds and hundreds of sewage discharge pipes where huge amounts of infectious human waste are just dumped in the harbor. Same with the Chesapeake Bay, same with the San Francisco Bay, same with the Chicago River, same with Tampa Bay, and the list just goes on and on and on, including South Bay on Lake Champlain. Lake Champlain's nothing but a big septic tank. And the Richelieu River that empties Champlain into the St. Lawrence is nothing but an open sewer. So, to the Heritage Foundation, we need to get to the bottom of why it is that the government and these big bankster gangster real estate development companies and all these government entities are using America's waterways as giant sewers, pipelines to flush their infectious human excrement to the ocean. They do this same thing in England. They do this very same thing in Italy and Spain and China. Oh, China's horrible for it, and Mexico. Now, what's the big secret, Chip Roy? Matt Gaetz, Elise Stefanik, Marjorie Taylor Greene, why do they use these streams and creeks and river systems, the lakes, and the groundwater? Oh, God, they dump more infectious human sewage into the groundwater. It's mind-bending. So we're just getting warmed up on the secrecy and the hiding of government information. It seems that Kathy Hochul, the governor of the state of New York, and Basil Sagos, they like to keep secrets with the state health department. And that bunch of operators up there at Raybrook, New York, for Basil Sagos' environmental mafia. The environmental mafia of the Adirondack Park and the secrets they keep. So to the Heritage Foundation, look forward to some real serious conversations on why they keep such big secrets in New York and why Operation Warp Speed was such a dismal failure and where the hell the money came from to be funding weapons-grade, military-grade weapons of mass destruction. Gain of function for viral warfare. Why have we got all these laboratories around the world playing around with WMD as a Well, that's a pretty good question. And I think Dr. Fauci and Mr. Daszak and the CIA and the Department of Defense need to come on down. And we need to get to the bottom of all these secret government records and clandestine operations that wind up with 15,000 senior citizens getting murdered in the senior citizens' homes of New York State. My hat's off to the Heritage Foundation and to the participants of the Chip Roy, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Elise Stefanik, the inquiry panel that's beginning to ask a lot of questions about Andy Cuomo's mafia in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because this one's going to be a real rip, snort, and tear before it's all over.